Hello. Isn't it a little boring number? This one? Woo! Oh. Scratch my head. Hello, everybody. Oh, let me find this. Let me find my little pedal thing. Hello, Matrix. Hello, Racing Man and Protaximus and Graco. So bad at names. Let's see. Does it work? Yes, it works. No hands. Switching. Whoa. Back to scene. Whoa. Here. Boom. Oh, I need to fix this. Let's do this so we don't get confused with that. So, another question. Nah, we don't like these move transitions. Is this better? Or this? Cut or move? Cut, move. Anyway, hello. So I'm continuing on the single player, just to give a little context, and have actually done some things UI wise. Especially on the back end, I've cleaned up some stuff. I made some things reusable, made some new controls, and thereby also made some new UI. It's not much, but the UI has been updated just a little, as you will see in a moment. And that's actually what I'm gonna continue on now. I was working on anyway, and you know, it was kind of let's do some live stream just for the fun of it. Also because I might need your input on some UI look and feel thing when we get to it. But if I just do like let's first hello. So let me do like this, just so it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm working on this one right now. So currently working on a new control here that can hold a number, and we need that for maybe players, but maybe player is okay to shift, but players and the allowed props and the allowed max spawn fireworks. Right now this thing where you click here is kind of annoying, because if you want to go to a high number, hello Kiltasar, it's kind of annoying to click like 5,000 times. So I will change that to be a input box where you just put in a number. That requires some validation, yada yada yada, but that's it. But we get to that. Let me just show you how it looks now. So you can see. So it's more consistent between, it's loading now, so I'm just switching to my face here. It's more consistent now, the UI between the single player and the multiplayer. I know for you as a player, it's two separate things, but it's kind of the same thing. You need to pick a map and you need to pick some of the game settings in a single player and a multiplayer, and then multiplayer just have this extra option of a name and private or not and stuff like that. So because these two work the same and look the same, I want to reuse the same components, so when I do a change to one of them, it should also change in the other one. It's simply the way you build stuff, so you don't have to manually, at least it's smart to do so, because else you have to sit and let's just do some music switching. Else you have to go and update things 1,000 places, and you don't want to do that. Anyway, so let's see here. Let's maybe do this. So it starts out like this with nothing here. That's the, I don't know if we'll end up doing that, but it starts out with a video. But right now the logic is, if the video is missing some frames, it thinks that the computer is too slow, so it switched to this static background. I'm gonna change that, actually, just a side note. I'm gonna change that so that you can disable that playing video in the background in the settings, so it does not automatically switch. So it's something that you decide if you want to see it or not, because the logic I've made right now is not really good, because it might, even on my beefy computer, it's losing some frames from time to time when it's loading up and stuff like that, and therefore it switches back to this one, and that looks weird. Anyway, side note. So this is how it looks now. And Amnesty was commenting on that in the version that you have, the previous version that you guys have access to right now. The maps had become a little bigger. And I was like, I didn't change anything there, but I did change something. I changed in the last version, I don't know if you noticed it, but I changed how the headers look here. So now these were looking, they were before there was not this line in the bottom, and it had like a dark background around the header here. So I changed that to be more consistent with what I did in the settings menu. So now these headers, I call them header, they look the same. So it's more consistent through the game, because as I'm moving on here, I figure out more and more how I want the game to look UI wise. So therefore I start creating more and more, components that I can reuse, like this header you see here. Anyway, side note. So you see single player looks like this, list of maps, blah, 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 blah. And server, no servers. And the reason it says no servers is because in the latest version, I think, I also did a change. You can see I'm on 8.5, which is the next version that you guys will have. But in the last version, or the version before maybe, I did some changes so that you will now only see servers that you can actually join. So you will only see servers that have the same version as you have. So Prex, are you creating a lobby right now? Not right now. Maybe I have roughly 1.5 hours now until it's movie time with the Wi-Fi. But depending on how this UI thing goes, I actually want to put out a new version today. And if I get to that and we get that going, then I might host a lobby or join a lobby that someone else hosts. That could be kind of fun. I usually do that when I put out an update. I usually join random servers to see how it works with people in more real world, or not in a more real world, but in an actual real world scenario. But right now I have some UI to fix, as you will see in a moment. So another thing I changed is also that before there was first of all, this page was missing a back button, I think. No, there was maybe a back button, but the back button was up here. There was an arrow up here. Same goes for this one. But the thing is, because that was up here, I needed to move this in to have access, to have a space for it up here, meaning that this page and this page, they were kind of not having the same padding here. So that looked weird. And as we now have the bottom already, the buttons in the bottom here already, I was thinking, why don't we just put the back button here too? Okay, it's hard for you to see. Let me see, do like this. Now you can better see it. And if I remove my face here, so here you have it. So the back button is down here now. You can still use escape, of course, to get back, but anyway, it was kind of trying to get some consistency going with the bottoms with the buttons at the bottom. Anyway, so basically, I switched some of these, made these components for the headers here, and now I made this into two kind of prefabs that I can reuse. This is the host one, and then there is a game one here. And the plan is to extend this game one with more settings that I add to the game, and also actually with mods. So, and just to show you briefly what I'm talking about. Right now I'm selecting this entire game thing, and then I'm just duplicating it. I'm just doing it runtime just so you can see what I mean. So if you go back now, it's the same settings, and it's of course not working due to that. But the idea is to have something like this, where you have game, some settings, then you scroll down, then you have maybe mods, then you have all your active mods here that you can then turn on and off. Now I don't know why that's not working right now here. That's actually weird that this isn't working. But anyway, now it's also just a test to show you the idea. And then you have mods here, and then maybe some other category, whatever, I don't know. But as you can see here, the amount of settings is now it scales better because I can just have more down here. And maybe I will make this a little wider and the maps a little smaller, or have them like in smaller boxes so they don't take up this much space. I don't know if it's worth having the maps fill up so much UI here. Anyway, so let's get back to what I was actually working on, and that was this field here that will replace this one here. Hello, Keltusar, again on Twitch. So, as you can see here, we can try and start it, it doesn't work right now, and I was trying to figure out why. So, if you go in here, we get, you can see there's no number here. And the numbers that are synchronized to here is actually on this one. If I set that to debug, we can see this is the fields, this is the data basically, the lobby name, the description, the max player, and is that's not the one. It's not that one. It's this one. This one. So here we can see the max allowed spawned and fireworks, yada yada, and you can see this on and off here. So what you see here mimics what you see over here, except for this one, which is not updated. And it's not updated because, and the way I set it is using something about actually to you, Keltusar, it's another component from Doozy that is called bindy, where I can, so if we take this one, it has something called binder where it automatically binds between a property basically on this class up here and then a field. And I have this text field here where I'm with this one setting the text field. So, and it's a bidirectional, so it goes both ways. So this one should actually update this field, and this works on all the other ones, but not on this one. And the reason it's not working, I think, is because you can see here, did not find a converter for single to string. And it's this one you can see here that have the problem. The thing is, I have created a single to string converter, as you can see here. See, where is it? Not this one. Oh, okay, let's open it up at least. So I have made a single to string. So the source is the single. Let's just look here. So the source is int. So this is called int to string. This over here is a Doozy sample. So this is, you know, a reference thing. Int to string. So int is the source, yes, and string is the is the target. So the same here. Single string. So for some reason it says that it's not. It can't find it. Register to converter register. It's like it's not. It doesn't know that there is this one. Flag that should be registered. But what does the documentation say? Yeah, it's because the reason I'm looking into these converters, that's because this bindy thing I'm using, this binder you saw before. Hello, Amnesty. Happy Friday to you. Yeah, Reno, sorry. This is a technical, the live stream is called game dev, so it is game dev, and that's code sometimes, often actually, but not too much code today actually. It's more UI thing that can be hard too. So my point is, I have created a string to single to string converter, but why is it saying that it don't know any? Did not find a converter for single to string. Is it maybe because it's not, it's actually, it needs to be a string, you know, not a, maybe that's why. So let's see, target type. Because I think there is a difference maybe. Let's see. Let's try again. I promise once I get this solved, it becomes a little more interesting, because then we will actually start looking into some more UI stuff. And then build a new version. Because there isn't any feature change as I remember. I will look into what I've changed in a bit, but I have changed how some things work, so it's important that I get it out so I can get feedbacks from people saying, oh, it doesn't work in single play if you do this or whatever. I do this too in Roblox, but this is harder. Oh yeah, I tried a little Roblox coding at some point together with my son, youngest son, and yeah, it was kind of fun, but also quickly we ran into some issues and then we dropped it. So, what am I eating, you might ask? I'm eating caramel and rum. What is it called? Lady Birds of chocolate. Huh? This is gonna be great. Oh shit. Let's unpack it. Let's see if this is one of the nicest one of them. Because sometimes they are. Okay, I'm opening it on the wrong side here so I can't see what I'm doing. Ooh. So you can see it's a... Damn it, now I have chocolate all over the place. That's it. Ladybird. Ladybug. Ladybird. Whatever. Hello, Trux. Truxty. My Danish is fine. My day is fine. Drunken ladybird. Ladybug. Okay. Okay, so let me check here again. Oh, boring number. Let's try some sick wave music. Yeah. Still not working. But why? Or create and register a converter. But let's try and see here if he explains it, because as I said, Keltusar, they actually have pretty good videos. So I want to see if he registers it.
And you just create a new class, implement iValue converter interface, and yeah, you're pretty much done. So this will allow you to add as many and as various type of converters as you might need. These are the ones that we deem to be the most useful. And after you create your own converter, you come here in I changed.
That is Alex, yeah.
You come here and you do a refresh or a global refresh. In this case, you just refresh the converters. and some code will be generated for you. So you go tools, doozy, and here say refresh binary converters.
You see this? I need to go up here. Doozy refresh binary converters. Let's see what he says.
Oh, when you click that, new code is generated.
Okay, that's one.
And this file appears, converter registry extension. And this file contains built-in converters. Notice that this is a generated class. You don't have to edit it. This is all generated code. And your converter will appear in this list automatically. And that's pretty much it. So let's come back.
Okay. I see you, Alex. I see you. Okay, let's get some music going again.
Here. So like I said...
Oops, that was not music. So that's why it's not working. You can see, Kelsar, they actually have good documentation or tutorials. Refresh binary converters. So what happened there? Write files. Okay. Let's see. I only created one converter going from single, which is a number, to string. So that means it should be able to take it, because it's a float, but it should be able to take it, and it doesn't work. So that's perfect. Okay. Refresh. So written file. Let's see if it's actually there. So let's find the doozy runtime. Bindy. Adding there's no extensions. So that's the converters, and it should have generated, or maybe it just said write file asset, writing file asset doozy runtime, asset doozy runtime bindy. It's like it's not creating the file. That's not good. Oh, did you see that? Now it opened up. Now it created it. As I was closing Visual Studio, it created the file. What? Oh, there we have another issue. Okay. I think we have another issue here. Yes. Okay. Okay, so the problem is that, and now you need to hold your horses, and you will most likely, unless you are a Unity developer, you won't understand this. I'm using something called assembly definitions, or whatever it's called, assembly definition assets, which basically takes whatever is in this folder and put it into an assembly, so that the game, the different parts of the package or different aspects of the game is in individual assemblies, which is DLL files. They are compiled to a DLL file. And that's a benefit, because then things are loading faster when I'm refreshing, because then it doesn't have to build stuff that haven't changed, yada yada yada. The problem with that is that now I have a reference that goes both ways, because my I can actually show you here because I can feel that you are all very interested in that. So I have my scripts here, and my converters is in this UI and binary converters here. So, and because I have this assembly thing here, this one is referencing Doozy runtime right here. So my game has a reference to Doozy assembly here. But now I just put something into this assembly that references an converter in my assembly. So that doesn't work. You can have reference. It's not good, at least, to have references both ways. So I'm thinking this is an partial static and it's an extension method. I'm thinking if I can just I don't know if I can also, but I really don't feel like adding a reference here. Okay, we can try that, but that's not really the way to do it. I actually rather wanna try something else first. What I wanna try is I wanna take this one, the converted register here, and let's try and move that to my assembly here. So we might put it into this binary converters here. So now I took it from their registry and then I put it into my own, where is it? Here. So I don't know if this will fly. Let's see. Let's see if we, because it's an extension, so maybe I should be able to, yeah, maybe it works. No, it doesn't work at all. Because this one is in the, okay, wait a second. It's in the Doozy runtime binding. Damn it. Runtime binding, let's see here. Because this is built in here, so that should be there. Okay. That doesn't fly. Okay. Okay. Neighbors is having a party. Let me close the windows. Wow, that was loud. Anyway. Okay, let me try something else. I'm pretty sure I lost 99% of you here, but hang in there. When I solve it, you don't care, but you will see it works. I hope. Never tried this before. This is my first time using Bindy actually. I didn't miss anything, Konago. Because I still haven't it working, but I have moved on. Okay, let's try something else, but I'm not sure this is. Okay, so we have this, and this has been created, and now we have it up here in the runtime bindy. We don't have it here. We should maybe close this or whatever. I closed this before and then it worked. That was weird. Okay, so we have it here, and that doesn't work because we don't have a reference to that. So let's do something that we shouldn't do and make a reference back to the fireworks MANIA core, which is also in an assembly definition asset. Yeah, and now we have the problem. I'm gonna see exactly here. We have a cycling dependency. We can't have that. No, we can't have that. Ah, damn it. The only way I can do it then I have to move my converter up here. But I really don't want to do that because I can by mistake, if I update Dusi UI, it overrides that. So usually you don't want to put anything into a package folder here. But I have to. I have to. That's really annoying. Okay, so we have to move on. So single to string converter, boom, we take that into the bindy converters. So now that converter is built as a part of the Dusi assembly, which I'm referencing, and it also knows itself, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. So that should work, but it's not pretty because I might miss this converter. I could also, you know, I could make a folder just so I know. I can call it custom. I can call it FM converters. So we know fireworks MANIA converters. Let's put it in there instead. So we find the single. What was it? Single here. Single to string. We put it in here. And then we open it up, and then we update the namespace. Okay. Too much music. This is more cozy with the lo-fi. But I'm fearing that you guys will fall asleep. No. Do something like that, so it doesn't use that as a part of the namespace, and then we can do the runtime if converter config. Boom. So now it's in the Dusi thingy, and we can then go up here and we can do Dusi refresh bind converters like that, and then apparently we need to close this. We can reload it because this one needs to go away. Let's do like this, and then let's go into the bindy, and then I don't know if we need to delete it, but let's do that because it can't build right now. So we do like that. So much for converting a freaking number to a string, and afterwards a string to a number. Jesus Christ. That's game dev. I was actually thinking calling the stream real game dev, just to be funny. So let's see here. So it converted that, and it didn't create anything over here because for some reason. Save. Why is it not? I need to do like this or what? It's so weird. It just doesn't generate it until you close or open the Visual Studio. Still not. You can see it says here that it's writing to the file converter registry extension, but there's not. But then if I open up, let's say this one, Visual Studio, and then close Visual Studio, then it creates it. See here, FM converters, single to string converter, boom, nice. So now it created it, and you can see it over here too. Whoops. So let's try again. Anyway, that was a long. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. But now it should work. Let's see. do some B-roll while we wait. Okay, it's ready now. So let's see here. Let's make it full screen so you can better see. Boom! Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, that's good. Now we will most likely get. So if I put in a number, for instance, can I do that? Oh no, sorry, a letter. If I'm writing my name, nope. Can I do new line? Nope, I can't do new line. Can I put in a yes? Nice. And I can press start game and then I get this one, but I can do like this. And then I will most likely, let's see, let's open up. So I have here on this second monitor, I have my host file here. I put in 54, so it actually worked the other way. That's actually funny. I didn't. So maybe maybe it hits a string to float or something like that. A string to another converter. It works at least. That's good. Okay. So I don't know if it was clear what I just did, but now I can actually bind, because I now have a converter that can take a single or float or basically a number and take that from I could did a converter that can take that number and change it to a string, because this one, the number is a number in the code too, but to show it here it needs to be a string. It needs to be put into a string, so it needs to be converted to a string. And that's what we just did. Okay, so this is perfect. Okay, so let's do the other one. Let's do the, and now it's really easy because I now have this other one. So this is the control I made. You can see here. Oops. Let me see. So allowed fireworks. So it's part of. So it's a number input. Prefab that I can use, so we can use the same for the max allowed spawn props, and you can see over to the right here in the UI that it's updating. So I'm just taking this number here or this text here and then do like this. So now I have this one which have a label, which is this one. Is it too small? And then I just take the text from this one and put into this label without that colon thing, and now it shows up here, max allowed spawn. I will also do something later on, that's the plan. So when you hover over this, either this or this, like you can see up here it says private game on off, and then there is a little parentheses where it explains what it is. This will be removed and be replaced by a hover tooltip, which is also a thing that Doozy UI provide the support for. So that's also very useful. Anyway, so we have this max allowed here. We can remove that, and this also means that I can soon in a moment. So I think we can remove this, and we can then on this one we can put a binder, and we can add two members here, and then we can take from what we need to, it doesn't really matter which is which, but we take, this is where it's coming from, bidirectional. It needs to update every 10th of a second, and it needs to take the max, and this is the spawn ones, the prop one. So we take the prop, and where does it need to bind to? It needs to be directional because it needs to go both ways, and it needs to be 10 times a second. And what is it that we need to bind? We need to bind this input field here, and not this one up here, this one. So if you scroll down here, and we can drag it over here, we drag that here, and then we say what does it need to bind to? It needs to bind to the text field, and this is where the number need to be converted to a string to set it on this one. So that should set it here. Okay, and then we can save this, because by adding these changes to this prefab, we should see the same in the single player version. However, in the single player version, we don't need these two because, and specifically to these two, because you don't want to set the max allowed spawn prop and max allowed fireworks in the single player game. So therefore I have been up here in the single player thingy, and it's a long way in here. And then first of all, it needs to be there due to some technical things. So the host settings is actually in the single player, but it's hidden. And in this game settings here, I just went in and let's see, can we revert? Yeah, this one doesn't need to be, so we can remove this one, and then I can hide these two new ones. Basically, I'm just hiding in this instance. I'm hiding these two because we don't want to show. Whoops, we don't want to show them. This most likely doesn't make any sense to you guys, but it works. And then we can talk some alignment in a moment, because we need to. It's aligned a little weird, isn't it? Or are they too? Okay. Anyway. So you see here, nice. Do it full screen so we can see. So now we can just change it to 150, yay! And we can spawn fireworks per player, that will be 450. Okay, that's the prop, so let's do like this, and yeah, that doesn't matter. Cool. So, okay, let me check this in, because this actually works. Oh, let's check. Damn it. Single player. So you see single player here, we have still the same component, this component here, but with these two disabled. And right now it doesn't look like much, but as I extend this one, it will have more options down here, like the mods, because I would like to have it so that when you create a game, either single player or multiplayer, you will, in this over here, you will select what mods you want in this particular game. So it will list, the idea is that it lists all the enabled mods that you have. So right now what happens is, if you host a game, all the mods that are in here that is enabled is what is being loaded. But the thing is, it's not very intuitive. There's a very far, it's far away from where you use it. So it's in the workshop under the collection, and then you need to enable, disable what you want to have. It's much more intuitive, I think, if you go to, for instance, a multiplayer game, create one, and then over here select, I want this mod and this mod and this mod. And of course it remembers it from time to time. From, you know, the last hosted game, it will have the same ones. But yeah, I think that will be much easier to understand, really. Yeah. Anyway, so it works here too. Blah, blah, blah. Perfect. Let me just check this in before we move on. Let me just see here. I just saw your messages, Amnesty and Kiltusa on that thing, with the relay and all that stuff. Let me check this in. One thing at a time. So, added new UI controls for game settings. Plus needed converters. So that was nice. Okay. So next question here. The max player one. This one. Should we do that as a text field too? I don't know if I can actually. because I want a min and a max on that one. And I'm not sure I can do that here. No, I can't. But also it doesn't make sense that the min and max is a, you know, sorry, the max player is a free text field, because, you know, we're not gonna go over, like, right now I think it's set to max 60 players, which is really too much anyway for a client hosted one. So I think, what do you think about how do we do the max player? Should we just, of course I need to update the UI so it looks better. We can do that and make a new UI as new as stepper control, just as we have these other ones, but with the style that match the game as it is right now. Yeah, I think we should do that. I think we should do that. Just stick with enter number. Yeah, but not for the problem with the problem with this one down here is that I cannot. But I could of course do that in code. It's just I can't limit this one. Okay, let's try and start up the game, because this one have a UI limitation, so it doesn't go over 60, I think. I could just have. I don't know why I did it. That was a very hard way to do it. So let's see here. So 64. It maxed out of 64. And with this one, I can't limit it like that. Okay, maybe I could. Yeah, I actually could. I could limit it too. Yeah, the problem is not that it goes to 64. The thing is, if I change this one up here to a text box like this, you can right now, you can write 350 players. But I can of course in code do a validation check. Let's try it. Because it's very easy to do. Or at least test it, because I have these controls now. It's very easy for me to just simply put in a new control. Yeah, you will see here. So we have the max player here, which is this one. So let's take this number input, and then we just say we need to max player. I don't know if it's called settings. That settings in the name is not really ideal, but anyway. So we take this one and we put that on this one label, so it goes like that. Maybe without this. Again, it will, that bottom thing will be changed to a tooltip. And then we just put in some binders. So we do here, and then we go here and we say binder, and we put in 2, and then we say, okay, we need the data from here. Need to be bidirectional. We need it to be 10 times a second, and we need it to be, that was the max player, so that's one. And what do we need to set? We need to set this input field again by directional, and like that, and here, and then we need to set the text, so like that. So now we can basically delete, and I think this is actually the last one I have of these, so I think I can delete this now. I don't think we have this control anywhere else. I really don't like that control, so let's delete it. Boom, and then you will see it will display here, but I will delete it of course here. So like that, and then I will save these changes here. Boom. So let's see. And let's be honest, the server run. Yeah, exactly. I was actually, and maybe we should do that now that we are at it. I think we should put down this number because 64 is not realistic. Or at least not as the game is now. If I made some, I have the idea of having a feature at some point where you can kind of have people join as basically as crowd. So you can, as the host can basically decide who can spawn and who can't. So that everybody that joins can't spawn anything. They can run around, but they can't spawn anything. If you do that, we saw it in Gonako's. I can't remember if Gonako's event there was hosted on a dedicated server. Maybe it was. But in that one, there was actually a lot of players in there. And it ran pretty good. Because nobody was spawning anything. So, in the future maybe, but we can just increase it. But 64 is too much. Yeah, but dedicated servers is not using this UI anyway, so they are under totally different, not totally different. It's the same file underneath, but they can have different settings. We can at least do so they can do that. But as you can see here, it works 7, and if I put, let's say, 10 in here, and then max allowed spawn fireworks per player. Maybe I should. Okay, I can't test it because the host can always spawn more. Oh. Did you see that I was too quick? I don't know if maybe you couldn't see it because I was zooming in, but there was an error here when I was doing this quickly. Let's try again. I don't know what will happen with this one, starting with a 0. Let's try and see what happens. Let's look at the host file. What did it save? Oh, sorry. So, okay. It didn't allow it, so it stayed on 1. But it saved the player 10 here. So it's updated that, and this one stayed to 1 because it failed. Let's see. Okay, so when I'm too fast, okay, maybe we should, maybe these ones should actually be, because you can see here, maximum prop. This one should be deleted too, by the way. So we have these two. Oh, I have this one over. That's fine. Maybe these should not be. There should be real-time bindings. I don't know if that will solve the problem. Because then they're updating 60 times per second. So you can say, why not do that with everything? Well, performance. So let's see. I think it went back to 10 because while I'm writing, it's seeing it's updating the change from the underlying field which haven't been updated yet. So let's see. Okay, now I can. Now I'm not too fast. Now it works, it seems. Let's put this to 5. Okay, that's better. Let's see. Okay, but that's fair enough to have that on these 2 fields. That's okay. But I'm soon done with the single player stuff, actually UI wise. So next thing is the blueprint and also the UI there. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Then you could argue, should these be moved to the right here? The thing is, in here it looks kind of okay with them in there. Okay. So it works now, so that's good. And it actually still have the 5 here and all that. So that's good, perfect. Let me check this. I also did, and that's what I like, clean up stuff. I created a control here that we don't use anymore, so that's perfect. One less thing to maintain. Changed. We actually forgot something. Max player to new input text control. So we forgot one thing. We forgot the validation thing. Wait a second. There is some built-in stuff. So, for the Max player here. So, when we're doing this binding thing, I don't know where we should do it, but let's see. There are some value transformer. Let's see, can we percent to value clamp? What is the difference between these two? No, value to percent, no. Phone number. Range mapping. Yes. Boom. So what can we do here? Yes. Oh yes. So minimum, of course, 1. Input. So that's the input to this one. So yeah, basically it's the same. So the input min and max. Should we set it to 32 maybe? Max output 32. Shouldn't that work? So this value transformer should basically this might work. Let me just do something here. And we can actually do something else. Now let's first see if it works. And if it works, we try and see if we can provoke it and then put something in this file here. So we say like 5,000 players and then see what shows up in here. So let's see. So we go in here and then let's say 500 players. Yeah, that didn't work. 0, no. Damn it. Okay, let's try it on the other one too. So this one, let's try the range. Range mapping. Or am I? No. I'm not sure it's the right one I'm picking here, but but let's try again. So, okay, transform a value by mapping it from one range to another. For example, from 0 to 1 to... okay, yeah, that's not what we want. So it's mapping... Yeah. So 0.5 is being mapped to 50. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. So let's see, what do we have else? Don't we have some kind of range something? Clamp. Oh. Value, percent to value. It's not a percentage. Let's see, what can this one do? Okay, can we do a clamp? The clamp is like, you'd say, okay, this can be between 5 and 100, for instance, or whatever. But it's a percentage thing, all of this. Then I should do my own, but I really don't want to. Enum value. Okay, we can do it some other way. Let's try this. So, revert that. So we revert that, and then we revert this. So we are back to the max player here. Okay, so we can't do it, and that's maybe also better. We can really clamp it in this one. So this is setter and getter for when this max player is set and get. So we can do a private one here. Saying, so if we do a private single max player, default it to 6, and then in the max player here we can do, I think we can do something like this. So can we change it to backend field? Yes. Computer. Fuck that. Okay. So we return math f clamp. Oops. Clamp. So we say the max player should be between basically 1 and let's say 32. And we could of course have done that in a better way. Of course, I'm an idiot. I don't know if it's needed, but we could basically do the same for So the value that gets in here, we can claim that too. I'm not sure that's necessary. We could also argue that... let's try it like this. Because this way it should actually be clamped both when setting and getting. So how is everybody? I lost you. No, four people still watching. That's tough. Okay. Up, so 5, let's say 500. Up, oi, see this. So let's say I want to do 800. Oh, it says 32, I can do 12. That's fine, I can do maybe 0. That's not good. But that was this. So why is it not the 0 one? 66. It's like it's crashed now. Okay, so it's like when it's crashing, it's crashing. Cannot convert value type. Okay. So I need to go to my string to single to string converter. I think we have an error. So the value is not now. We need to check something else. Maybe I should do an opposite one. String to single. I actually think I should. I think we need one going the other way too. So let's do a new one here. So string to single converter, and then do the opposite. So let's do this, because I think that's what's bringing it down. So let's do here. Come on. So let's do like this. Maybe we can do it like that, and then we can take this one and we can do it here. Maybe I should do something better. See, we don't need this. Like this. Hello, crop 112. Group work this one. Implement that. So, and we can do the same as here. Just the opposite. So this would be now the source is a string and the target is a single. So we can do this one, which is the same. It's basically saying if it can convert, and then let me find a string to int converter, just to have something to be inspired by. No reason to reinvent the wheel, so we go here. So if the value is null, then we return 0, yes, and if target is an argument, blah 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 blah, target expected, blah blah blah. Valid target type, target. It's a little weird way of writing it. You could do it simpler, but anyway. So that's the single. So like that. invalid source type, and that's the source type is the string. Okay, so if the target is not if the target is not of type string, we write out it's a valid target, expected, single, and not source. That value is not null. If it's not null and the source type is a string, so that's fine. So if the value is not null, then we do and that's just a string for there. Expect a string, yes, and then we try pass, so we say, isn't that, can we do like that? Like that. Invalid source value of type, and the source is the string. Okay, so it should be able to handle this, and if it's not null, and it should actually single value, and it should actually default to 0. Can we do that? No, we can't. So it tries to pass it, if it can't pass it, actually else, because if it's an empty string, it can't pass it. So we just return 0, I think. Because there's no check for if the string value is actually empty. And this one will try and pass it to an empty string, which it can't, and then it returns 0, which I guess is fine. So now we need to do the trick again. So we need to go in here and refresh the converters and then see if it's actually refreshed. Okay, let's see. So here we go to tools, do see and refresh, and this one, and then we go to bindy and we go to this one and we go to see here. Do we have both of them? No, we don't. Yeah, we don't. We have both of them here. So that's perfect. Single to string and string to single. So perfect. Doesn't mean that they necessarily work, but just to be on the safe side, let's try and close Visual Studio, because that worked before. It was like it was only actually updating it when Visual Studio was closed, which was weird. Okay, so like that. Let's see. And I'm basically just trying to crop the value here so it stays. So I'm trying to write 88 and it goes to 32. So we do 99, no, 99, nope. What if I type in nothing? It still fails. The string to float. But come on. So it uses the string to float converter when it's sending it back, and not the single. String to float converter. Okay, come on. It fails every time I put in nothing. And it fails in the conversion. Because nothing, an empty string, is actually a string. But string to float converter. Most likely, just scroll out a bit. Yeah, see, this one is actually missing this check here. This one. Or it could be the value. It's not null. Value is not null. No, it's not string, not. I think the float one misses this one. Because if these checks should check if the value is null, that's fine, then return 0. If the one it's trying to convert it to is not of the type single, then it fails too. If the value is not a string, the value is not string, then it writes another one because it expects the value to be a string of the type string. It's a funny way of writing it, but yeah, a string. And then we say, okay, this is a string. Then it tries to parse it. The problem is that an empty string, meaning, you know, nothing basically, is still a valid string. So it will get down here and it will try to parse it, the string, as a single. But this will return false because it can't. Because what do you convert an empty string to? It doesn't know. So most likely we get down here, which is happening over here, which means nothing, which means we get this error. Cannot convert value blah to type blah. Is that actually what we get? Yes, exactly. Cannot convert value blah to type blah. And here they're actually writing, I don't know why it's like they become, because we can do the same here. I don't see why it's using like that. So the target type, why don't we just write it like this? Boom. And the source, the source type, well, I don't need to have it double there, so we can do like that. Source value string blah source, boom. But anyway, but I just rather don't want to play with this one over here. And I don't think I can specify which converter it should use in this binding thing. No, I can't. I can only do this transform here. But really, I should just avoid. What? Okay, you're still here, Gunago. That's good. But I understand this one is boring. I wasn't expecting to spend that much time on this conversion thing. I was expecting that to go pretty fast and then spend more time on the UI stuff and actually building a new version that I could put out to people. But that will have to be tomorrow because I'm leaving soon. But I should have a lot of hours tomorrow, actually. So maybe live streaming could very well be. But at least I'd expect an update tomorrow. I just need this to work. Right now I just have this problem that I don't want to... This one is failing because of what I'm saying, that it's sending in an empty string. So I somehow need to avoid that. But I can't avoid that happening. And that's the problem. This is why I was against using a text field for something like this, because yeah. Oh. But it's the same problem with these one. These one will most likely just let's just Okay, we can also do something. Let's just try quickly. Let's see if I'm right, that this is actually the problem. So let's try and build that. But it's the same problem in all of these. Yeah, I don't understand not talking. There's nothing to say other than fix it now. Once had some buttons that did some funny things. No, I don't have that anymore. Sounds and stuff. I don't have that. Anyway, so I think we have the same problem here. If I go to this one and then write nothing, you see now it works. Same goes here. So if I'm deleting this, it straight away goes to a 1. So I can't do anything other than 1, and then 5 and 6, and that goes to okay, you can't see it. So if I try and delete this, it goes to 1 because I can't get lower than 1 due to that thing. Yeah, I think I'll just have to go with this, to be honest. And my problem with this is that I just changed the source code of Doozy UI, and because I just added this one to this single to float converter, which is a native Doozy UI one. The problem is if I do an update and Doozy UI changed it, then it overrides this file and I'm back to having the issue I have now, and that might happen in like 6 months or 2 months, and then I totally forgot what I did here. So I really don't want to do this. But I cannot see how I can fix it either way. Plus, I must say that I think this is actually, this is a bug, really. I think this is a bug because this is not correct. But I could also do it in another way, but the result will end up being the same. The point is that an empty string is a string. But okay, it's also correct that it cannot convert values nothing to the type of a string or to a single. That is correct. So if we go back, I need to revert this. Just revert it correctly in Doozy UI, string to float, yes. So really I should, and that's again as I talked with you about, Gonauko, this error is kind of correct actually, because the error is not the problem. The problem actually is that I'm sending in an empty string. So I need to find a way to not send in an empty string. Same goes for this one. So how do I do that? Classic classic developer things. So really I need to find a way not to put in an empty string. Okay, can I use the, okay, wait a second. These converters, is there something like, so there was these value converters. So was there something like string? What does that do? Nah. So if there was a converter in here, a value transformer, sorry, that could somehow make sure that it couldn't be an empty string. Text trim, no spaces. Doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work. Nope. Is there something in the text field here that can... autocorrect it? Custom? Input side standard. Single line. Integer. Regex. Oh, damn it. Alphanumeric. So there was the max player. Let's see what that does. I think this is the same as actually having it as a... It's just a number, but let's see. So if I put 0, goes to 1, that's fine. What if I delete it? Boom, and then we are back to the error again. Jesus Christ. Then I could add a script. So when it's on end edit, I guess that's when you're leaving the field. I could have a little script that check if it's empty string and then it makes it a 0. Or what? On end edit. Let's see, do we have anything here? No, doesn't work. Mesh Pro input field. End edit. There, unended it's submit event. What is that? Oh, it's here. There must be an easier way. But it looks like I can hook up to this event. But it's not pretty. I hate freaking hacks like that. It's not a hack, but it's just... Shouldn't it go to 2? Well, yeah. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right actually. But that's the host settings here, so it needs to be 2. And it needs to be this one. Okay, let me just I think I know how I can fix it. But okay, let's quickly try it and then I will shut down for today. So UI wise, let's just put it here for now. So let's do a little script. Okay, now this is game dev. Yeah, it's not that complex, but I just don't want to have to do this. So I don't know what the script should be called. It should be called something like we could also do it like here actually. So we could do input field min max UI controller, not UI controller, input field min max validator converter handler validator handler stupid naming, it's so freaking hard. But anyway, so let's see here. Let me show you how I want to do this quickly. So we want to have a reference to the private, it's called, what is it called? I cannot input text. It's have these weird names. SMS Pro input field. Input field. Boom. And then we say we have some kind of precondition that it needs to be there. Not 100% sure this will work, but I think it will work. So we check that it's null, so it's actually being set. Then we have a method called handle on end edit, and it takes a string, I guess, input value. So if input value string is not, so if string is null or empty, or string is not empty, white spaces. So if it's just spaces or it's like nothing, then we set the input field text to and we need a private int mean value, just call it mean maybe. And so now we need to set up what we need to be the mean and max, so we can reuse it for other things maybe. And it just, yeah, that's fine. So then we do as we did before, it did the other one. So we say the input. So now we know basically it's just so it's basically min and max, so we use that because we don't have it. So now I can maybe. So if this input value is null or empty, or it's white spaces, then we say, okay, then we clamp it between the minimum and the maximum value, and then set it back to that text field. And then we go back, boom, okay. So, go in here. Now we just want to add this first to let's just go to input field here, and then we do so input field, we have this input field min max handler, and then we need the, we could also just find that ourselves, that might be better, but we do like that, and we say minimum for the player one, it's, we said 2, and the max was 32. And by doing this, we might actually be able to skip that other logic we did before. Anyway, let's see if it works. So on the end edit, we could also do it on the change value, but on end, maybe that's not good enough. And then we can call this handle on it. Boom. This could, I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure it works actually. Let's see. Yeah, the problem is the converter. I can fix it in converter, but I don't want to change. Yeah, because it's not really the converter. It's actually the input that is the problem. Anyway, so now if we put in 0, it goes to 2. If we put in nothing, it fails. And that's because I don't, you can see if I go out and it end edit. Okay, so, okay, we do it another way. I need to do it not on the end edit. I need to do it on the, we can just do this, and then we say, validate, maybe I should call it validate instead. No. Handle input value. Naming again. So freaking hard. Anyway. So what we do is that we go to this again. So this is pure UI stuff that happens before I start doing anything with the data. I think I need to do it on the value changed. So I think on the value changed, I need to call this method over here on my handle, call handle input value. So every time the value change, it calls this one and then correct itself. Hopefully. And with that, I'm out. But I will be back tomorrow. I don't know if I will be live streaming, most likely, but I should have a lot of hours tomorrow. So, okay, let's try again to put in 8. Okay. Okay, so it does work when I try and delete this 2. It just goes to 2 right away. 2. Doesn't fail, so that's good. But I can't change it either. So it's a little too aggressive. But I don't understand why, because it shouldn't really do anything if it's, but we can hook up something here. So when the value change, when I delete it here, so what is the value now? It's nothing. Ah, yeah, okay, that's fine. So when it's nothing, it corrects itself and set it to 2. Okay, so what if it's 8. And then we go in here again. And now the value is again nothing. That's weird. And then it changes again. Okay, I'm too tired now. I don't want to do this. Something that should be that so easy and simple, but it's not. Let me just revert this one so I don't forget it tomorrow. Okay, that will be it for today. I don't have more time. But it wasn't the plan to spend, but that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you spend like crazy amount of times on stupid little things. And you can say, oh, how important is this really? It's just a little text field. It's just a number. I promise you, you will be freaking annoyed when you have to constantly put in wrong values or it doesn't work and it changes it to something different, or you put in something and think it's set to something and then it changed it, or whatever, it fails. So it actually is important, and it's something that is seemingly simple to the player. So something like this should at least not fail. Nothing should fail, but anyway. But I think there will be a stream tomorrow. And then hopefully I'm a little fresher in my mind and I can find a way to fix this so we can move on, because I don't want to spend more time on this, to be honest. I want to move on to some more fun stuff. I want, actually, when this is done, I think that's the point where the only thing I might want to do more, and we can do that on live stream tomorrow, is that I want to do some alignment stuff, because I like the alignment of these things in the setting view, but it's the same controls that I'm using here, but here I want them to be aligned a little different. So maybe we can find some kind of middle ground, or yeah, some look that we can be happy with. But maybe this is also okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We'll take a look tomorrow. The UI thing is hard. But then I want to push this version out. Again, nothing has really changed feature-wise, but a lot of change under the hood. So I want people to play it and try it out and find bugs if there's anything wrong. And then meanwhile, afterwards, I want to start on the blueprint stuff, so we can have that working in Singleplayer. And I think actually the logic of saving and loading, or saving and, yeah, I think that will be fairly easy. What won't be easy is the UI part maybe, but I'm becoming kind of a UI expert, so never know how fast it will go. Anyway, thank you for stepping by. Oh, 7 people now. Whoa, 3 and okay, maybe it's the same people on Twitch and 3 on YouTube. But anyway, Keltusar Konako, I know you're here. Let's see tomorrow. And let's hope I can move forward a bit faster, because this is kind of boring. Yeah, but I also want it to be fixed. And then afterwards I can do this tooltip thing. I actually also want to look into that, but that's also kind of boring to look at. So I don't know. I have to do it anyway. So see you, and yeah, in the next live stream, whatever. Let's do some switching again of the camera here. Can I do that? No, I can't. Hands free. Pedal work. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's actually pretty nice. Yeah, movie night, Wi-Fi. Of course, the Wi-Fi decide what we need to see, so I don't know what it is, but it will be interesting. But see you tomorrow, live streaming. I don't know when and whatever, but yeah, it should be good tomorrow. See you. Bye.